Hello guys, how is it going? This is Peter here, and if you were looking for a monk guide, you came to the right place. But before I would say anything else, let me shout out to Max who helped me a lot in this video, gave me many tips, builds and ideas. Thanks buddy. So after the warrior and ranger guides, monk this time, they are the best healers in Guild Wars, along with ritualists. Some say they suck at damage, but this is not completely true. Obviously they don't possess super trooper DPS skills, but have some decent builds, and if you don't like healing, that's fine. You can focus on damage as well, and do any endgame content with heroes or even Gwam. This is how I did my monk Gwam too. Anyway, monks have 4 attributes: healing prayers, protection prayers, smiting prayers and divine favor. The first 2 are quite obvious skills which do big packets of healing or protection belong there. Smiting is where the monk's damage comes from, and divine favor is their unique attribute. The more points you invest into this, the more extra heal you and your allies get from your monk spells. It gives 3.2 HP with each level. In general, monks have low armor, high energy, high HP, or at least this is what you should be aiming for, and 4 pips of energy regen. Monks wield either staves or wands, plus an offhand item, occasionally a shield set if extra armor comes in handy, and these weapons have low damage from 11 to 22 and cause holy or fire damage usually. Rarely do monks have melee weapons, but mostly because of specific builds. The 40/40 set of your actual attribute is highly recommended, so if you are using a smiting prayers build, get a 40/40 smiting set. If you are a healer, then get a healing one, and so on. If you focus your build around enchantments, always use a 20% enchant mod. A high energy set is also very useful if you receive some massive energy drain or the battle takes too long. When it comes to healing or protecting allies, monks perform very well. They have good amount of skills which can remove conditions, hexes from party members. Also, a lot of their skills deal holy damage, which does twice as much against undeads. They can be very hard to kill with certain builds. Here I think of 55 or 600 builds. They can bond tanks or themselves to succeed in different areas. On the other hand, monk builds rely on enchantments, and those can be removed by fools, or just think about the low armor, that's another problem for them. Dazed condition can be deadly for a monk because spells become easy to interrupt. And even though they have hex removal skills, don't expect them to remove them all the time. Usually monks have 1 or 2 hex removers in their build, so hexes can be a problem too, especially the coaster deadly ones like Backfire. And finally, their DPS is not considered the best in the game. I think monks can benefit well from choosing Mesmer and perhaps Elementalist as a secondary profession. Both of these help with energy management, which is crucial during a long fight, and as a Mesmer they get the chance to use skills like Channeling, Power Drain or Leech Signet, plus skills like Arcane Echo, Arcane Mimicry. The former can copy a spell you want, the latter can copy a useful elite from your monk ally. If you choose LA, then Glimpse of Lesser Energy can be very useful, reducing the cost of your next 2 spells, so best to use before high energy skills like Heal Party. This part of the video will be quite long guys, because it's hard to be a pro monk. There are many different aspects to know. I have mentioned some tips at the weapon part, but rather tell you those again quickly. So always have a high energy set for emergency, use a 40/40 set for quick recharge and costing times of the attribute you are using, have 20% enchant mod if you work with many enchantments, and swap to a shield set if you expect spikes. You need to know there is a big difference between playing with heroes and playing with a picked up group. I mean, as a monk you should avoid combat as much as you can, and this is kind of possible in PvE, obviously not in PvP, but your priority should be somewhere behind the group. This works well in a pack team, you let them go ahead and you can heal and protect allies from a safe spot. But sooner or later you will be soloing stuff with heroes and then things change. The problem with heroes is that they will always follow you, meaning you are the front line all the time and monsters will be reaching you frequently. So if you really enjoy healing, protecting a hero team, that's fine, go for it. But in my opinion, giving the hero to heroes is also a great idea. Why I'm saying this? Sadly, the heroes have much better reaction times than us. They can remove hexes and conditions much faster than real players. But obviously they can be dumb in certain situations, standing an AoE for instance, using key skills wrong. But when I did my Gwam, I always focused on damage builds. But seriously, if you enjoy healing, protecting, do it. Okay, the most important tip, if you want to be a good healer or protector monk, then you must forget about clicking skills, or at least learn how to use the important skills with numbers. Clicking is slower than using keys, kind of works as long as you are the damage dealer, but as a backline you will be very slow and you will let your party members die. For example, Max and I activate skills from 1 to 4 with numbers and keep the last 4 skills for the mouse. This works too, you can combine clicking and the keys. Another thing, targeting allies, there are keys in the settings for this, or you can click on party members in the party window, but guess which one is faster? But I'm not sure who can use 16 different keys for 8 skills and 8 party members. Maybe some pro PvPers can. Another tip, don't stand at one place, try to run away from mobs chasing you, use spirits, minions as cover. To save time you can even bring the party window closer to your skill bar, this is another tip. And if you are running with packs, make sure you target the growing characters in advance and get ready for their HP to drop quickly, especially in hard mode. Also focus only on the game, don't let other factors like Messenger, Discord distract you. You can even resize your skill bar and create a 2-line build. This is a good way to reduce mouse traveling too. Next tip, know your build blindly and be aware of the recharge times. As a monk it's crucial to know as many enemy builds as you can, this is a good tip for everyone of course, but if you see in a pack team some melee toons attacking 3-bladed attacks in hard mode, then you know what to expect, a sudden death usually. So plan ahead, check the area you are visiting and choose your build properly. For example, you visit an area with many hexing fools, then bring more hex removals. You know there are a bunch of conditions there, bring more condition removals. I think you know what I mean. And another tip, always watch your distance from your teammates, don't be too far away but don't be too close either. Some monk skills have earshot or area range, try to maximize it, don't use skills like that if everyone is far from you. Another one, the battle is over but your energy is low, wait for regen, don't rush to the next group yet. Also let your teammates know your energy by pinging in the team chat. If you are doing stuff with another monk, discuss your builds. You can make overpowered combinations with Healer's Boon and Unyielding Aura for instance. And another tip, don't use too many superior runes, those lower HP too much. If your HP is lower than others, the AI will focus on you more than on your teammates. If you want to be a DPS oriented monk, bring some sort of armor boost like I'm Unstoppable is a good one, or a weapon of defense mod. If you are going with heroes, you can solve energy management with the Beep Necro and spam heal and prot skills continuously. Also worth mentioning, melee weapons can help avoid certain anti-coaster hexes. The AI will think you are not a coaster and this increases your chances. Same applies to blind. In normal mode the AI will use skills that inflict blind on martial weapons and this will help your melee teammates. The last 3 tips are about skills. Always have room for Selfless Spirit and Seed of Life. Selfless will reduce your 5 energy spells to 2 energy for almost half a minute, and the Seed of Life can save somebody hit by many enemies. And last tip, bring self heals too, not only skills which work only on party members. Okay guys, let's take a look at the builds now, starting with some healing ones. Unyielding Aura is a very useful Divine Favor elite skill. As long as you maintain this enchantment, monk spells heal like 50% more, and when this enchant ends, a random party member is resurrected with full health and energy, plus teleported to your location. The build has great healing and good energy management with Selfless Spirit, and use Seed of Life on targets hit by many foes. The next one is a Healing Burst build. It has better party-wide healing since the Divine Favor bonus from HB goes to party members in earshot. This is another great healer build. No strong res and extra heal, but minor party-wide heal and better energy management than with Unyielding Aura. Probably the best clean monk damage builds have Ray of Judgement, nice AoE holy damage and burning condition on foes. Sadly enemies scatter after a while, but with knockdown or snare this can be solved. Arcane Echo is a must-have because it provides an additional set of ROI. The rest of the build is quite optional, fill the open spots with some smiting and PvE skills. The 2 protection prayer builds comes now. Aura of Fate is a great way to reduce damage on a single target, plus giving 100% more healing for a short period of time. Shield of Absorption and Shielding Hands are great friends of ours, these two with Spirit Bond and the Elite can save party members from trouble. Very often used build comes now Assassin Promise Finisher. You move like a dwarf, finish him, and the Ebon Vanguard Assassin do high damage on a single target. Use the Elite skill when enemy's HP is low, this will recharge all spells on death. Smiting Prayer skills are advised, but if you feel like going into other directions, that's fine too, can do some party heals procs as well. Not the classic dagger spam we are used to, but this is also viable. The Beef Necro is a must-have, plus always use Strength of Honor for more damage. I have used these two versions when I did my GWAM and really like the diversity of it. You can go full prot or full smiting too, both works well. If you go melee, add I am unstoppable and blast insignias for your monk, or you will die many times. And of course there are many other useful elites for monks, like Restore Conditions, Word of Healing, Peace and Harmony, Zealous Benediction, etc. But those are mostly used in PvP and rarely in PvE. Moving on guys, Anniversary Elite now. So did the monks get a useful Smiting Prayers Elite finally? Sadly not. Judgement Strike, this is a melee AoE attack with some holy damage and knockdown on attacking foes. Not a meta changer, but not too shabby either. Useful with the Anniversary Hammer, which requires Divine Favor, but probably best to keep this for undeads. Alessia's overpowered build is classic fun stuff, Horizon of Healing, Healing Breeze, even Healadder, it smells like 2005. Actually the next one is not just fun, but maybe has some advantage too, Grip of Renewal and Seed of Life. Seed is an OP skill but has a short duration and long recharge time. These two skills combined and Blessed Aura can maintain Seed of Life for a longer period of time, almost continuously. The next one is a Signet of Judgement build with a lot of signets. I always like the fact that signets don't cost energy, and the Elite have nice AoE damage and a knockdown, the other signets do some minor holy damage, and Mantra of Inscriptions helps with the recharge times. The next one is a classic Bonder build. I use this for duo farms and mostly bond Dervish or Assassin. The order of skills is important at a high level of protection prayers. Always use Life Barrier first, followed by Life Bond. It gives tons of damage reduction, energy from Balthazar Spirit, reduced condition times and better DPS for your teammates. Sadly the 600 Smiter builds are nerfed for a long time, but if you want to play a Monk Tank build, this is a good one. Spell prevention, damage reduction, anti-knockdown, this build has a lot of good things. Okay guys, the next part is about solo farming. In general, monks do 55 or 105 HP builds when they want to solo farm. This means putting 5 superior runes into their armor and using Protective Spirit and other prot skills to become invincible. As long as there is no enchantment removal or interrupt, touch skills, the build can survive against many foes. So in my opinion, the best solo farm for monks is the Luxon Assassin farm, also known as the Halcyon Jab. Guess you have seen me farming there with my monk on streams. So why is this the best? You get many unneed golds here, not only weapons but unneed armor pieces too, meaning you have the chance to get the best runes like Superior Vigor, Prodigy Insignias, basically anything except Paragon and Dervish runes. Also you get a lot of dust from Bolt of Silk, iron from Luxon pendants, plus most of the time you will find 1 or 2 chests too. Bow staves, dragon staves, platinum weapons are all possible drops here, and if you get a perfect mod you win the lottery. The next one is a Chaos Plains farm for Ectos. I don't know if there are any other builds which use Shield of Regeneration for farming, but here this has usefulness. This is an own creation by the way. Maintain Mantra of Resolve, the prot enchantments and spike with waste rolls. Start the Underworld with heroes, clear your way to plains, flag heroes out of compass range. Then kill the 2 Wailing Lords first, after that kill the Banished Dim Riders, but don't use enchantments against them. Aggro, use the Hex and go back to safety. With these tactics you can solo static riders and any skeletons too, but only the static ones, don't even try the patrolling groups or multiple riders. The next one is a Feather farm, another invincible monk build. Tengus can be found in large numbers in North Krita province. use Balthazar Spirit, Blessed Aura at first, then make sure you activate Protective Spirit before Shadow Form all the time. So each time SF would end, reuse Prat Spirit first. This way you will get no damage at all, aggro and ball as many as you can and kill them with Radiation Field and Viper's Defense. The next farm is the Dragon Moss farm. The new escort quest is a must-have. Gothic Shields, Plant Fibers, LA Tomes, Spirit Foot Planks are the drops here. Maintain the protective enchantments, ball them, use Spellbreaker and spike with Waste Rolls. Good old Valtyr farm now. A good one during special events, similar tactics as at the Tengu farm. Put up Balthazar Spirit and Blessed Aura first, then maintain Shadow Form, but make sure you use Prat Spirit before SF all the time. Once the Valtyrs are balled up, spike with the smiting spells. Okay, so how good are monks at speed clears? I think they are decent, not the most used profession, but not the worst one either. The most common roles for monks are Seeder in DOA, in FOW, in Argos, in the Deep. All these roles share similar builds and equipment. The Seeder gets its name from Seed of Life. Basically there is one tank, you bond him and use Seed of Life when HP gets low. If a party member would die, Unyielding Aura will solve Resurrection. Alright guys, so who should be choosing monks? I think those who love the classic healer protector role, who does not care about big yellow numbers, rather enjoy supporting their teammates. Of course monks have a few options to deal damage, but will never be the best damage dealers in the team. So if you are looking for a profession which can save other people's ass, monk will be a good choice. So guys, that's it for today. The builds I will put into the description. If you have questions, feel free to ask. Oh, by the way, before I would forget, next vid is probably another mission guide, then a quick solo boss farm, and after those probably I will continue this series with necromancers, so stay tuned because more vids will come.